Let's explore my classroom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Beautiful. Let's take a tour of the classroom. Nice. You are here. Nice little. We got a little wall of fun. Some fun stuff. What do we have over here? A little bookshelf. Nice. And the desk. Okay. Class schedule. Never really organized or managing time, but I got a certificate. Okay. Let's get this party started, so to speak. Okay. I'm gonna try to articulate myself when it comes to, I guess, how I feel about what I know, okay? In talking about what I know, for me, I find it fun to articulate why I think I know that I don't know anything when it comes to information outside myself, right? The only thing I feel that I know is my own feelings, is my own thoughts, and my own internal experience, right? So I'm gonna do a couple little thought experiments, okay? The first one is the 70-year-old man, okay? So, a 70-year-old man died today, poor thing, right? And 70 years ago, when he was first born, we asked him to learn about as much as you could, He so happened to be, he was the best learner, and this was his intention throughout his life, right? So, just the information in the last 70 years is virtually an infinite set of information, right? The amount of stuff that this old man could have just heard about and says, yes, I recognize that as part of existence, is half, and that's an overestimate of what actually happened within reality in the last 70 years, right? The amount of stuff that this old man could have heard about and been able to articulate, yes, that is this and this is what it is, or this is what it pertains to, is even way less than that, okay? And the amount of stuff that this man knew enough to apply to his own life and to share to others, right, is such a small percentage of the amount of things, the amount of inventions, poetries, creativity that took place in the last 70 years, that what you get a grasp on when it comes to outside information is but a speck the amount of information that's literally out there, right? So that's a little thought experiment for me that puts me in perspective as far as my knowledge. I know that I don't know anything, right? But I do know, when I say anything, I mean anything when it comes to the end-all and be-all of information or of education or of intellect or of reality, right? But what I do know is how I feel, right? And I do know what I feel is true, okay? And I'm gonna use mathematics to articulate this, and then use other areas of information to reiterate, back it up, and color a little bit, right? But first, I'd like us to feel what it feels like behind your eyes. Feel the space behind your eyes. Feel the space in between your ears, right? Feel what it feels like. Just feel, for me, that vastness, right? And one way to articulate that and that internal experience that we have is put your fingers right here and do this with me, okay? And now think about that vastness between your ears and behind your eyes, right? And now put your fingers right here. Does it feel like your internal experience is that big? Does it feel like it's happening in between this amount of space? Even if you took your whole head and said, okay, that's my internal world. Does it feel like it's that? It's vast, for me anyway. It's a feeling of not, you can't articulate it, right? It's something that's beyond articulation. It's that vastness. And from that vastness, from that feeling, from that experience comes my own creative expression. It's different from any outside information, right? It's my own way of figuring out problems that we all have similar issues about. But how you figure out the problem and how I figure out the problem comes from that creative expression, comes from that nothingness. We all bring something out of nothing, and nothing is that vastness. Okay, so on the subject of nothing, okay, mathematics, the intention behind mathematics is to have a language or a shared communication that's unbiased, not connected to the language or culture, right? Which is debatable, right? But inherently, you know, my language carries certain connotations. My culture and everything has an influence on it, right? And words mean different things to different people. So we're trying to think of a shared communication that is unbiased, universal, and neutral. Okay, so how we start this is with 0. Okay, so I'm just going to write 0. Okay, I can't say nothing about it because that would be articulation, right? That would be bias. I can't say anything about it. All I can do is write a symbol for the idea of 0. What that idea is, I don't know. It's just an unbiased symbol with nothing connected to it. It's the idea of nothing, idea of no articulation, just write 0, but I call it 0, okay? And then what I do, and I want to build mathematics up from this because that would be an unbiased building block, right? So what I do is I say there's more than just 0, right? Because we're here talking, there's stuff going on, and I'm writing it, so what we do is we say that there is a container for 0, right? And I articulate that container with little brackets, right? So now you see I got 0, and then I have something that contains 0, okay? And what I do is I say these things are not the same thing. Can you see how they're not the same thing? One is, and the other one is the set that contains. So on this side, I'm saying the set that contains 0, but I don't even say that. And on this side, I can say nothing at all, just, okay? So we call them two separate things.